Chandan Kumar, labour rights activist and former member of the Minimum Wage Advisory Board of the Government of India, joins us now. Thank you so much, Chandan, for joining us. We've seen this happen time and time again. In a rail tragedy, unreserved passengers, very difficult to identify them, very difficult to find out where they come from. Just take us through that human tragedy and what is really being done. What have we done to make sure that their lives are a little better?
First of all, I think it's such a shame on us. It's such a sad state of affairs that there are dead bodies lying there and there's no one to identify them. I think we should be ashamed as the nation, as a country, as a citizen of this what we call India. I think life has come full circle, and where we started this debate 3 years ago when the COVID happened, and same situation, same kind of tragedy we are seeing. And I'm sure we're going to see more tragedies, more situation in coming days when such crisis happens. All the basic questions, all the basic demands, what we raised during that time to the government of India, and still today, there's no change. There's not even an iota of change in the policy measures or even statutes. And I would like to say this on the record that, I'm getting calls, from the last 2-3 days. There's so many, because we work with the workers in southern India and eastern India, so many families are calling us that, we are not in touch with our brothers, our family is calling us, we don't know where are they, etc., etc. So we are also getting really hassled and we don't have any answers. My only, the two things which I would definitely like to say today, that, there are a number of measures were initiated and discussed and etc. And not even a single policy was passed. Chhattisgarh talked about the policy, Telangana talked about policy, Madhya Pradesh talked about the policy. There's a Niti Aayog report, all happened during COVID crisis time. Not even a single these documents have seen the light of the day. That's the first thing. The second thing, what I am experiencing, the way the present government, the present political regime,
Chandan,
the way they're doing this. Sorry,
Chandan. I was just wanting to get, in a present situation, in terms of identifying the families, given the numbers that exist and the enormity of their numbers, it becomes an extremely difficult human exercise, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely. This whole exercise is not going to be completed. I can tell you on record, it is not going to complete. It's basic changes that you have to measure and monitor, and just take an assessment that how many workers migrate from which corridor to where corridor is a very basic exercise which Railway Ministry, Labour Ministry has failed to do. Just a basic logistical question. Just behind the railway engine, there is a general bogie. Look, just think about the time of accident when the accident occurred. It's a general bogie where hundreds of people, kind of jam-packed in the one coach, all of them died. And even you want to take the record, how will you find it? Because they're all the general tickets with the workers.
You had also, Chandan, when in some conversations, you had also mentioned about how they come into a station, how many people flock into a station without tickets, just to jump onto a train in that process. How do we then keep track of who's coming in and how are they going out and where they're going in, from which part they're traveling? I mean, what would it take to have that kind of this one? Can you just take us through the scenes that you've seen personally?
Just the basic measures. We did basically a survey. We filed an RTI. There's a station called Kanta Banji in Odisha, the same state. All right. This area is called basically the migration corridor, from where there's hundreds and thousands of workers migrate towards southern India to work in the construction, to small industries, and so on. So such a station, where in the general time, in the general days, not even the 20 people goes to station and buy the tickets. But you just map the migration period, which starts from, there's a festival in Odisha called Nuakhai, which is a tribal indigenous festival. And immediately after that, which is like a Diwali and Dussehra kind of time slot, and over 1 million tickets basically purchased from the Kanta Banji station. It's a mind-boggling data. We filed at that time RTI to the Eastern Coast Railway, and we found it. So the basic exercise at which area, which stations where workers basically buy the large number of the tickets. You need to just do the basic exercise to increasing the coaches, just to figure it out which trains basically goes from and goes
Right.
to the industrial corridor. You can just increase the number of bogies, etc. But we are busy in Vande Bharat. I don't have any problem with the Vande Bharat, but there is a report in the Parliamentary Standing Committee when there is no money spent on the maintenance charges. There's no increase of the resources. So I think this is not a human error. This is
Right.
a crime. This is
Right.
what the government of India has. This is a crime. This is a murder.
Right. Chandan, it's an important issue, but human at the moment in terms of identifying those victims
But we are
there
not learning
in
anything.
Odisha.
There's
Thanks
no
so
course
much.
correction.
Thanks.
There's no course correction.
Thanks
There's
so
no
much
course
for
correction.
Thanks so much,
Sorry.
Chandan, for making that point.